just in case you've been living under a rock and haven't heard, Matt Patricia, 22 years ago, was falsely accused of sexual assault, according to him. He was indicted, but he was never, formally charged, I don't believe. We back, More C Sports Talk. It's your boy CJ Goodfella. On a serious note today. And now, he's been hired and went through free agency, went through the draft, and now, some reporters want to dig up some dirt and, tarnish his legacy. Or tarnish his name for right now. This is tarnishing his legacy as well, even before it gets started as a head coach. I'm just saying, where was this report before he got hired? Obviously, I don't understand the timing of this. If you had an issue with him, why didn't you put it out there before the Lions hired him during the Patriots playoff run? I find it highly suspicious that this comes out after he leaves the New England organization, gets hired by the Lions, and now this comes out. But it happened 22 years ago, 96. He was cleared didn't go to trial in 97, in January 97. I heard it happened. I linked the article in the description. Through a spring break trip to Texas, and went 5 months, and then dismissed it or whatever, and went to trial. It came up 5 months later or something, but ultimately it didn't go to trial. But anytime you were accused of sexual assault, that's a permanent black eye on your legacy, on you, because there's gonna still be people that say, oh, he probably did it and they just paid her off, even though the article said it was no such money exchange, it was no confidentiality agreement or nothing like that. But I'm hearing that the accuser says she couldn't go through with the trial because it was too painful and too emotional stress on her going through this trial. So she didn't go to trial and go through with it. She said going through the court judicial system and having to take the stand and all that other stuff, it was just too much. So she chose just not to do it. But it's always going to be people that say he probably did it. And it's going to be people that look at him in a different light now that this comes up. I'm just saying, man, why do they have to do this to Detroit, man? Seriously, I don't understand it, man. We got a glimmer of hope, and then they just want to go ahead and just throw a black eye on it. This ain't got nothing to do with this man 22 years later, man. Nothing to do with him, man. Now the guy that he was with, his college buddy or teammate, whoever it was, now he's somewhere married like Patricia, and this shit comes up, and he got to deal with this too. And it says the Lions were unaware of Matt Patricia's 96 arrest. So that just came up on the ESPN screen. They did a pre-employment standard background check. But obviously when you are not accused, when you're not charged, and it's not on your record, of course you're not going to find out. But, in the NFL, you paid to dig into people's background that's going to come into your organization. And this is totally hypocritical of the Detroit Lions and probably most people's eyes. Because they won't draft players with character issues. Since Titus Young and all those arrests happened a few years ago. We want high character guys. We don't want bad guys. We want good guys. But now you hiring a coach, and most people in the public eye who they feel that probably did do the sexually assaulted a woman. No matter how nice a guy everybody say he is, around the NFL. When this shit comes up in somebody's background, and even though it was dismissed, and then on top of that, the woman said she couldn't go through with the trial because it was too emotionally stressed on her body and her mind. Now people thinking like, oh shit, he did that shit. Even if you went to trial and legitimately beat it, people still gonna say, oh man, he did this, he did that. Now, going into camp and going to his first year, he got to deal with a whole bunch of BS questions. He got to deal with the reporters coming at him sideways. And the Lions got to deal with this because they the one that set the standard out there, saying that we only want a high character guys. But now you got a guy that's running your organization that has that in his background. Fair or foul. Your leader or your troops. Is seen in the public eye as a criminal. And I know it's not fair. It's definitely not fair to him. You know, if he beat the case, it didn't even go to trial. So why is this coming up 22 years later? Now, if he would have stayed with New England and got the head coaching job in New England, would this have came up? Absolutely not. If he would have went to Philadelphia, if he would have went to the Dallas Cowboys, this wouldn't have happened. They only pull this fuck shit, excuse my language, on the Lions. And on franchises on the caliber of the Lions or lower than the Lions. They don't never do that to the top teams, man. And if it was a Detroit Free Press or Detroit News or M Live, whoever broke this story, man, you guys is pitiful, man. You know, if that's who brought this story up and brought it to light, and it was this community and these papers, y'all petty, man. Y'all petty to reach for stories, to reach for ratings, to reach for views or clicks, whatever it was. This was scumbag low. To do this. This was horrible. You don't indict and you don't do this to our coaches. You know, now if he had a background that it was highly controversial and then the trial ended bad or ended on the cliff note or a cliffhanger, or if he really did something and he changed his identity or something drastic, or he really did something of this nature, yeah, then you indict him. But some shit that got thrown away 22 years ago, come on, man. I mean, y'all need ratings that bad, man. Y'all mad that ESPN reporters come in and learn shit about know shit about more than about the Lions than y'all know. ESPN report stuff before y'all know. How does Adrian Wojnarowski, excuse me if I butchered his name, how does he know about Stan Van Gundy getting fired before the Free Press, before the Detroit News, you know, before M Live? How do they know that? Is they legitimately, reaching for a story that bad and to beat ESPN to the punch that bad that they need that? You don't do that to your community, man. This dude wasn't charged of nothing. And from all accounts, this dude is a stand-up citizen, one of the nicest guys in football. What do you do? Pissing your Cheerios? And I guarantee you whoever broke this story, and I believe it was in Detroit, and I'm just saying that one of the Detroit outlets broke it. They've been sitting on this story for a long time, man. For a while. Just sitting to break it. And that's pitiful, man, that we can't have our own back in our city. Why can't we, man? They broke this story, man. It's pitiful. And they want to say, hey, you know what, man? ESPN was going to break it anyway, so we just broke it. Hey, let ESPN break it then. Because we don't need no more negativity in Detroit sports. The Lions are the glimmer of hope right now in Detroit sports. Everybody else is trash at best right now. But, yeah, it's totally unfair to Matt Patricia. I definitely got his back 100% as far as this situation, man. He ain't get charged with nothing. And we seen what goes down in many, many stories, like the Brian Banks story. The guy was going to play college ball, and he was falsely accused of rape and spent like 5 or 6, 7 years in jail. He got out, and the girl said that she falsely accused him on the jail phone lines, and they recorded her, and the NFL gave him a job. You hear it all the time about people falsely being accused of rape or really doing it. So this just going to put more people, thoughts in more people's mind. Is he did it and didn't do it, or give people a reason not to like him. But ultimately, if he wins, pretty much just to go into the shadows of the dark. But if he start losing, this is going to be prevalent. Trust me. But let me know what y'all think. Motor City Sports Talk, we gone.